Hey, Heart Seekers. Welcome to the Heart's Hello Show, where our hearts are the foundation of our well-being and happiness. I am your host, Keona Talana. In this episode is going to be quick, short, and right to the point. I want us to take time to write out our wins. As we are preparing to enter into a new year, I believe that it's going to be important for us to understand just those things that we have begun to or that we have already accomplished for the year as we are leveling up, as we are thinking about all of those things that we want to do for the upcoming year. But I don't want us to miss out and take advantage of that we still have time left on the clock in this year. See, most of the time people begin to think about their New Year's resolutions and it's, oh, I'm going to get started on January 1st, or I'm going to start fasting in January for 21 days, or I'm going to do all of these things in January. But I believe that it's important that we honor our time. And in honoring our time, that means that we still have time left in this year, that we can still accomplish so many amazing things. And so I today took the time to write out all of my wins. And it was interesting because I started out with my very first one was I stayed in my right mind. I'll say that again. I stayed in my right mind. I didn't write out what I was able to accomplish in my goals. I didn't write out, what most people may think as a big accomplishment or something that so many people will see the tangible fruit from. But to write out the very first thing was to stay in my right mind was so powerful. And so I want us to think about all of those areas in our lives that we've won. It could be our personal wins, our career wins, our emotional wins, our relationship wins, whatever those things are. I need us to realize that growth isn't always visible to others, but it's our own. And so when you're taking the time to write out all of those accomplishments from the year, either big or small, whatever they are, write them out. Another one that I ended up writing was I cried more than I have in years. So that's emotional to recognize that this year, although I have been able to accomplish a lot, I've also realized that I've been feeling my feelings and that's okay. I'm realizing that I'm more in tune with myself, that I'm able to not only just set boundaries, but keep boundaries. Yes, I know that there have been times that I did not necessarily stick to my boundary or may even have done some things that were contrary to my core values. But to realize and to recognize when I'm off, to realize and recognize that there are still areas for growth in my life, because I believe that none of us have arrived yet. I believe that we are always in progress to where we're getting ready to go. And so that's why being on this journey of a heart seeker, we are constantly reevaluating. We are constantly evolving. We are constantly thriving. We are constantly becoming the best version of ourselves. And as we become the best version of ourselves, there are going to be some areas that we look at in our lives like, how the heck did I get here? Or how did I allow that person to come into my space? What wrong turn did I make? And I want you to recognize the turns, but I don't want you to harp on them because there's nothing that you can do about what has already transpired in your life. I had the opportunity last week to, I took a leap of faith and I reached out to a woman where I feel like I'm in a space where I need some more mentorship. I'm looking for someone who I can glean from, someone who can pour back into me, especially as a person who is always pouring out. I believe that it's important that we find those people who can pour back in, but also kick us in our tail when we're not doing the very things that we need to do. And so she asked me this question, and it was more of there were questions after it, but there was a statement that she made before, because I was kind of sharing with her some of the things that have gone on in my past. And, sometimes you begin to shrink back. And I mentioned that I felt like I was muzzling my voice. And she made this statement, and she said, inaction is muzzling God. Y'all, when I say I was stuck, she then proceeded to ask me 2 additional questions after she had already made this profound statement. And the next 2 questions the first one was, will I choose shame or God? Second question, will I choose purpose or people? So when I say that I'm sharing with you all this adventure of life that I'm going on, and that becoming the best version of ourselves isn't always pretty, but that it's necessary and required for us to have people in our lives who can check us, have people in our lives who can cause us to think about things just a tad bit different, that can cause us to realize that you're wanting to get to this next level, but yet you're still holding on to a past that is and should not have you bound. So when I say that you're writing out your wins, or you're now creating this win journal, it's important for you to know and to recognize and to pat yourself on the back and to encourage yourself and to clap for yourself, because you need to be your biggest cheerleader in your mind. When no one else is there to cheer you on, you have to remember where you've been, where you're getting ready to go, and what you have already accomplished. So take this time to really sit and write out those accomplishments. Like I said, big or small, whatever those wins are building momentum. They're building your confidence. Even if it's just a small win, it still deserves the celebration just as large as a big win. So we have to be able to remind ourselves with these wins that we are capable. We are capable of the challenges that we have been able to overcome, and that we have not only overcome them, we have survived and we have thrived. So y'all, don't just get on here each and every week and listen to me sometimes ramble. But when I say that I'm doing the work with you all, I'm doing the work with you. And I'm looking at my list and I'm like, all of these things on here may not be pretty to other people, but for me, they were important in this journey through this year. So again, I need you to write out your wins. I need you to celebrate your year, big or small. So here are just a few reflective questions that you may have if you're finding it a bit challenging to write out and to find what those things are that you may have missed or overlooked. I know that there are probably some things that I've missed on my list, but I'm going to make sure that I'm taking the time to write out as much as I remember. So here are some reflective prompts for you and for me. What goals did you set this year that you accomplished? What challenges did you overcome, even if they weren't planned? What areas of your life saw the most growth, if it's work, relationship, mindset, health? What new skills, habits, or opportunities did you develop? What did you do this year that made you proud of yourself? So again, I encourage you to write everything. Know when is too small in whatever area of your life. Like I said, it could be your personal win, your self-care, your boundaries, your health routines, could be career. You may have landed a new job. Shoot, you may have been fired from one. I'm raising my hand. I was let go this year, not because of performance, but because they had a reduction in workforce. And so even in that, I had to find a win. I had to find a win in it. So again, it could be your career. If you're managing the challenges, if you learned a new skill, emotional, you practice some vulnerabilities, you set some boundaries, you grew in confidence. Maybe it's your relationship. You grew stronger connection with people. You let go of some unhealthy relationships. Whatever it is, share one of your wins to model your vulnerability and connection. Because again, as we are growing, we need to grow with the right people. So again, your growth isn't always visible to others, but it is your own. So take this time to create your win journal and to write a gratitude letter to yourself. Hey, you did good this year. Let's go big next year. So I'm excited, you all. I'm excited about where we are. I'm excited about the momentum that we have. I'm excited about as we are preparing and gearing up for a new year. And I need you to make sure that you're taking the necessary time to rest. Because if we are living our lives the way that the seasons are, winter is typically a time when things go dormant. So it's not a time that you need to be maybe creating something new. I don't know. But make sure that you are taking some time to rest. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited that you're not starting from scratch and you're starting from experience. I'm excited that you have taken the action steps to write out your wins. And if you have someone in your life that you can share those wins with, is even more important. So I'm excited about where we're going. I'm excited about the adventure that we're on. I'm excited about us becoming this version of ourselves that we are creating and that we are designing because we deserve this life. We have purposed in our hearts that this is what we want, and we want to make sure that we are showing up not for other people, but that we are showing up for ourselves first, that we are vulnerable enough with those in our lives that we can show that emotion, that we can set those boundaries, that we can say no when it's a no and a yes when it's a yes. But it's a journey, and we are all on this adventure together. So until next time, you're a winner. You heard me. You are a winner. Bye.